Have you been to Africa, brother?
Multiple times. In fact, this was the first summer that I missed Africa this past 2020 summer because of the COVID. We normally take a group every year. I've been to every coast. I think I'm up to about 15 countries now. And I want to touch every single country before I go back to the ancestors.
Why do you think someone like Marcus Garvey, who preached going back to Africa, never stepped foot in Africa? What
He
was
was
that
banned.
all about? Huh?
He was banned from Africa.
Was he?
Of course. The colonial
Really?
powers wouldn't dare let Marcus Garvey get into Africa. He was
In
banned.
nay country? Not nay, nowhere?
Well, remember now, you're talking the 1920s.
Mm-hmm.
The whole of Africa was colonized by the European. There was no country except Ethiopia and Liberia that could be considered independent.
Right.
And at that time, Mr. Garvey and His Majesty had some differences that they later worked out on the Ethiopian side. And on the Liberian side, for those who are familiar with Garvey's history, Marcus Garvey was on his way to Liberia. He sent Pan-Africanists to Liberia with equipment, money, materials to begin building what? That international community for repatriates around the diaspora who wanted to go home. But Garvey was banned even from Liberia, which was the only free nation at that time other than Ethiopia. Nobody would let, not only was Garvey banned, Garvey's newspaper was banned. The Negro world was banned outright in every colony on African soil. If they caught you with a copy of the Marcus Garvey newspaper, that could cost you your life, either in prison or literally.
Wow.
That's the only reason why Garvey never set foot on the continent. He was not allowed to.
Interesting. Yeah, for a lot of y'all who don't know, Liberia was like a place that was basically colonized by what? Ex-slaves, brother?
No. It was the American Colonization Society.
Okay, talk to him.
That initially colonized it, but then they sent ex-slaves over, formerly enslaved Africans over to build a community for themselves who wanted to go back home. The problem, though, psychologically, we took the consciousness of the slave master with us back to Africa, which led to a very long, very comprehensive civil war between the returning African from America and the indigenous African in Liberia. And that split still exists to this very day in Liberia, where I have been, to the point where if you have an English last name in Liberia, so I'm Ifatunde, but formerly Johnson. If I go to Liberia with Umar Johnson, there's going to be a certain privilege attached to my last name because it suggests that I am an American Liberian. I am an American Liberian, meaning one of the descendants of those who came back from America. That schism is still alive in Liberia today, which is why, although I am a Pan-Africanist and I am a repatriationist, we have to be careful with regard to who we take back to Africa. I don't want every Negro in America going back to Africa, nor did Garvey preach that. That is another misunderstanding about the Garvey movement. Garvey never said all Africans should go back home. In fact, he said, quote, "Some of you are no good right here in America and will likewise be no good in Africa." No Pan-Africanist ever wanted to take every Black person back to Africa. By the way, there was never a Back to Africa movement. That is what the white media labeled the Marcus Garvey repatriation program and Liberia program. The white media called it Back to Africa. Garvey never had anything called a Back to Africa movement.